to just, I'm going to pass you over to Rona. Are you all good to go, Rona?
Yes, I think should be.
Okay, I'll pass you over to Rona, and she's going to tell us a wee bit about ongoing support with Visit Scotland and a bit about the travel trade. Fingers crossed I've got that right.
Right, can you see?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. I can't see the, hold on a sec, I just want to. Oh, well, I'll just go with here. So the next steps for yourselves, you've had a packed program with Stuart and Fergus. So it's more about making sure that we're here at Visit Scotland and those folk that can help are there with you on that journey towards recovery and building forward, and you're getting the right customers for yourself, for your business and for Scotland. Some of you, I think a third of you have already done your digital reviews. If you've not put yourself forward for one, please do so. I think you fill a form in, we just need to have to collect it for our GDPR, going back to the data reasons. So then we can reach out to you and do a digital review on your digital footprint, basically, to help you improve. As Sarah said, she was spending a lot of time on social media. Is that right? Was it being effective? Things like that we can actually help you with and make sure it's sort of streamlining, because we know that you're all limited in staff, and hopefully once we get into the spring and the summer, you'll all be out there busy, and we just want to make sure that you don't forget some of the kind of ongoing, because you're obviously looking at forward bookings for next year, 23-24. Understanding your markets, it's important for us to understand that you're not putting too many eggs in one basket. It's a volatile world, even more so. So know your markets, know who you're going, and using that data insight to track those customer journeys, where they're coming from, are they repeat, can I get more of? And that goes back to targeting the right type of customer. So do a pen profile of the perfect customers you're looking for, and then what social media, what magazines, what news they're reading, and that will help you as well, so that you can actually start targeting those things. Have a look at your product offering. Now you have what's in what you do already, but as it evolves with those new consumers, those younger generations, is it fit for them? Do you need to do some tweaks to it? Can you work collaboratively with other people within the sector or within the destination yourself, within the local community? And also in terms of that responsible offering, reduce your single-use plastic, all of that sort of stuff. Now, I know that a lot of the outdoor operators are using, and they have that first and foremost. So make sure that's up front on your website as well, to make sure that people can see that and you're actually playing your part in that. Tread lightly, and just keep an eye on that. Don't, make sure that your offering is right. And on a B2B level, you can actually maybe offer something that is more luxury experience as well, and just purely sell that B2B and actually get more recovery and more spend into it for actually sometimes not a lot of extra effort, or at a quieter time of the year, and that's where you would want to fill your time. Talked about collaboration, the importance of that, and connecting with each other, learning from each other, learning the best practices from each other. But also on that destination, make sure you're well connected with the destination marketing organisation or the local region that's actually working with you together, because that cross-referencing in terms of what else can I do in the region, what else can I do, really helps to sort of populate that. And the aim is that we do slow down those visitors, so they're not just ticking off the top 5 things in Scotland to do and fire around them and then leave and not come back for a few years. What we want to do is slow them down, make sure they're really immersive in regions. And we know from the trends that that's what everyone is, a lot of the consumers are looking for that. They really want to slow it down, especially those Europeans that are coming back to Scotland again. They want to try somewhere else, try something new, try something again, but somewhere else. But we want to get them to stay like 4 or 5 or 6 days in a region, or even 3 days rather than these 1 day hitting around these routes. And the importance of your sectoral organisation. Wild Scotland and Sail Scotland have been the voices for the region, for the sector all throughout recovery, being there to lobby for funding. So just make sure that you're connected as well with them in terms of that best practice, and as we go through the outdoor strategy coming out. So building skills, Sarah's talked, oh gosh, why will that not go down? Hold on. It's frozen. Here we go. So building skills. So for yourself and any of the staff that you're bringing on board, you know, there's a lot of young marketeers out there that are hungry to work, and sometimes they're actually looking for just some extra experience as well. So for yourselves as well as for any of your staff, there might be someone who is a guide but actually is quite happy to work those extra hours or another day from their desk and doing those skills. So think about that, and it's worthwhile you speaking to those staff members as well. VisitScotland.org is getting beefed up more and more in terms of what those assets are, in terms of what you can actually look at, webinars, little articles, and what we want you to do is make sure your website, your social channels, and your VisitScotland.com listing is as best as it possibly can be. Direct business for yourself means obviously no commission. So we want that as beefed up as possible, and keeping on top of that and using the tools that Sarah's talked about to help improve that customer journey so they can find you. Your other option is third-party distribution. So OTAs, love them or hate them. Some people work really well with them. Some sectors work really well with them. It's purely an individual business choice. Some people will come away from them for a while and then go back into them. In terms of experiences, there's going to be big shifts, I'd expect. Back in Booking.com and Expedia, it was all about accommodation, but people don't come to stay, they come to do. And that's where the big guns are actually seeing the big changes in terms of that experience landscape. So there have been a lot of buyouts, and that will continue to happen where experiences. So there's a tiny portion of experiences properly online and to be found. So, you know, keep an eye on that, and that might be a route for you as well, or even test out the water. There is a cost of acquisition. And again, on VisitScotland.org, there's a whole series of in the digital skills drop down on how to do some learnings there. And then on the third one is travel trades. So that's your traditional, and Yvonne, the guru, will have talked you through how best to do all the bumps and bruises to help you through about getting travel trade distribution. There is a feature on VisitScotland.org as well, takes you back to the basics. And more will be added onto that, including webinars on how the travel is distributed in each of the market and what to think about for each of the market, which will give you, if you've got a particular target segment within a market, that will help you to understand easier and how to get to the right buyers. Make sure you've got your listing on VisitScotlandTravelTrade.com. And your industry relationship manager can do that for you once you've got that bookable experience. And then we've got Discover Scotland Reconnect, our third virtual event, which I noticed was on Sarah's calendar. That's good. I think you were one of the first to have all your meetings set up, Sarah. So the team were flying your flag earlier. So that is our digital virtual B2B workshop in replace of the live expo. And then obviously we're looking at Expo 23 in Aberdeen, hopefully next year. So have a think about those, as well as the business development missions that we take on territory. And Sarah joined us a couple over the years when we started those up too. And that's a kind of immersive into the market B2B workshop in USA or Canada or Germany, for example. You're going with a collective number of businesses within Scotland, so you're learning from each other. From some more experienced folk from travel trade. So if you're new to it, it's a really good stepping stone, because we know that some of the businesses are still connecting on a weekly, fortnightly basis, and they're doing catch up. So they're worthwhile attending. And then have a look at the new programme of digital support, which we're working with Digital Boost, and that's about to launch on the 22nd of March. So go to VisitScotland.org. You can look at the what's news on the events and register there. Also keep an eye on the events page on VisitScotland.org for any new B2B events that we'll be attending. For example, Adventure Travel Trades Association, which we work on as well. So we'll be hoping to bring a sector-specific one. I'm hoping that we get to bring that to Scotland in the next couple of years, and that's something that we're in discussion with. And then finally, sorry, my slide's a bit slow. Industry relationship manager. Some of you, I hope, will have all met your industry relationship manager. They're all regionally based. If you haven't, then let me know and we'll put you in touch. They will talk to you about quality assurance, taste our best in terms of your restaurants you're using, or even your picnic, that local supply, reducing that supply chain. The green tourism accreditation, digital reviews I've mentioned before, and making sure that you've got your travel trade listing on your website. And then I'm going to hand over to my colleague Angie in terms of the importance of quality and reassurance. And the trend absolutely is that if you're working in the B2B frame, they will be looking at what your quality assurance is. They like that national accreditation. They can't get across. A contractor or a buyer might be working across 3 or 4 different markets. They don't know Scotland as well as you do. They don't know what your quality is like. So they have that national endorsement is something that they will actually look and help choose what they might be choosing to contract. And reassurance has come far more important than what it ever has done. And that is partly, again, on your website, make sure that that COVID reassurance is there. And that is going to continue, I would say, for the next 2-3 years as we were living with COVID and the next variant. So make sure that is there as well. And in terms of all your correspondence, the consumer and those buyers and the contractors are looking for that reassurance because you are representing their brand in Scotland, so they want to make sure their clients are looked after. So that was short and brief. So I'm going to pass over to Angie, my colleague, who's going to take it over next, unless there's any other questions.
Can I just jump in with a question there, Rona? You mentioned the digital boost 22nd of March. What form is that taking? Is that workshops and seminars, or is there grant support?
It's a series of webinars that people can join. So it continues throughout. So I think the first one's launched about 2 years ago, and they're continuing, and it's a nationwide through Business Gateway and Digital Boost.